Okay, hi, so welcome back. I hope you did your English work as planned. And now you're going to have a science lesson, okay? So, before we begin with the new thing I have to show you today, and this is something that might look already familiar to you, what we're going to do first, we are going to revise a little bit what we did in our previous lesson, okay? We mentioned a few times, revising and repeating is very important because this is how we remember things. Okay, so last time we talked about animals and their offspring, their babies, and we said how in English and in many different languages they have different names. Okay, so the name that you have for an adult animal is not the same as the one that you're going to have for a baby animal. So I'm just going to move my laptop a little bit, okay, so you can see more clearly, and we're going to do like this. We're going to do my favorite video quiz, which is when I tell you one thing and then you say the answer at your own home. So let's see first like this. I have here a dog. So can you remember the name of its offspring? The dog offspring is puppy. You can even read this word, P-U-P-P-Y, puppy. Okay, so next we have a cat. Do you remember the name of the cat offspring? I hope you said kitten because that is its name. And if you did your homework, then you know that the mouse also has kittens. Okay, now next is this beautiful bird called goose. Now the name of its offspring, it's an adorable gosling. Okay. Now something I've repeated many times on my Friday videos. Goats are one of my favorite animals, and their offspring is called kid. Yeah, so here we have two kids, two little goats, two kids. Okay. Now, wait, I have a mommy, but I lost baby. Okay, so horse has a foal. I repeated it 3 times because I believe that for most of you, this is a brand new word. Okay, so foal. And then I have a few more animals. So sheep, what does a sheep have? A sheep has delicate lamb. Lamb. Look at this word, lamb. The b is silent. Lamb. Okay, a chicken. I think this is super easy. A chicken has a chick. A chick. And now, who has a calf? The cow has a calf. Okie dokie, a few more cards left. What does a duck have? A duckling. Yeah, a duckling. And finally, a pig would have adorable little, what? Piglets. Piglet. Okay, hope this helped you remembered, and even better if you already knew all these words. And we are going to check on Wednesday on our Zoom lesson how good you are with this, and we're going to do a little online quiz to see if we remembered all these names. Remember, this week's and next week's show and tell is about animal offspring. So if you know some other words for some other animals and their offspring, you can present it in your show and tell. Okay, now, what we were also talking about in the previous 2 lessons is how people go through different stages, yeah, as they grow and change. So let's repeat one more time. Humans go through 6 different stages: baby, toddler, child, teenager, adult, and elderly, yeah? So one more time: baby, toddler, child, teenager, adult, and elderly, yes? So, just like humans go to these life cycles, the same happens with plants and animals, okay? So, of course, animals are very different, they can be very different to each other. And a life cycle of, let's say, an elephant can be quite different, well, is very different actually, than a life cycle of a chick, of course. But what they have in common is that they all do grow, they're getting bigger, and they do change, okay? So, as an example of a life cycle of an animal, today we're going to talk about the life cycle of a frog. Now, I think it's very possible that you may already know something about the life cycle of a frog, because I think that in your preschool you will very often talk about the frog life cycle and also butterfly life cycle, yeah, because they're very interesting, because each of these stages is very different to each other, okay? So we're gonna do like this. I have here this poster and I sent it to you as well if you want to print it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So I'm just first going to tell you what are the names of different stages in case you already learned this before, so you just like remember, oh yes, I know that. And then I'm gonna show you a presentation and I'm gonna tell you more about each stage. So here we have, of course, an adult frog. An adult frog can produce frog spawn, which is the egg, yeah? After some time, from the egg, hatch, come out, tadpole. So here they are. Tadpole, in time, grows into a froglet. Grows arms and legs, yeah? And the tail is still there, but in time, the froglet grows, loses its tail, and becomes an adult frog. When it's an adult frog, it's ready to start the circle again. Yes, and you can see here that we have this water and this pond. And I think you know why. That is because frogs live by the water. So if you remember when we talked about animals in Chile, we said that here there is this frog Darwin, which is very specific for Chile. I think it lives only here, and it looks a bit unusual because it has like sharp nose and edges of its limbs. Okay, so those are the things that we know from before. Now let's find out some details about frog life cycle. Oh, it doesn't want to work. Okay, I will be back in a minute.